Well, hello, my dragon family. Araya coming to you live here. It is Monday. I lose track of days now. It's the beauty of moving out of the flow of time and space and into something bigger. What we're all moving to, why we're all working towards this ascension process. So I've had some great questions this week. I'm going to address a couple of them here together. And hope you guys are doing great. There are big energies building towards the solstice. I quite honestly had forgotten the solstice is coming up this week, and those big energies moving us, always leaping us forward. You know, the last solstice had a lot to do with cohesion and coming into what I call cohesion, or what the guides called cohesion with the multidimensional spheres, both in our own incarnational aspects and on the larger picture, on micro macro scales coming together. So that's very interesting because it applies to the question, one of the questions this week, and why and how we might be experiencing reality differently, because we have been in a time and space continuum. We've had limits in our experience, or limitations, belief structures, all kinds of structures around us that we are now breaking free from. So it shifts our experience, because our ascension is really about a perspective shift. It's moving into a higher dimensional vibrational rate. It gives you a totally different comprehension, experience, and perspective on things. And that's what we're going through. So I loved Inger asked a question. She emailed to me last week, and it's about seeing two levels in time. So we're going to tackle that one first. I'm beginning to see two levels in time, she says, like one age of a person that I see, and then the next day I see them at a different age. And even in the same conversation, it's happening where I see their real age and then I see their age they're acting. Can you explain this for me? Why am I seeing these two different levels of experience? So this is one of the things that will start happening depending on our parameters, like our channels that are open the most. Some people are going to be more clairvoyant. They're going to start seeing stuff more, or others will hear more layers. I know for me, because I'm very visual, but my auditory signal with light language and with toning, as a healer over the years, one of the things I first noticed about 7 years ago was how the energy coming in when I would be toning was no longer single dimensional. It was no longer single vibrational tone that my vocal cords were able to expand into. I found myself toning and having all of a sudden like chord harmonics coming through and simultaneously. So I would be working with someone, have healing sounds coming through, and I would notice that there were at least 3 or 4 layers in the harmonic that was coming through my vocal cords. So my vocal cords expanded. So that's one sensory outlet. So here Inger's talking about visually, perceptually. It doesn't have to just be visual. It can be just that perception, because we're moving into a higher capacity for information. We are moving into an ability to grasp multiple layers simultaneously. So you're perceiving them both simultaneously, or even one and then the other. As you adjust to this, you can imagine it like a strobe light flickering in one scenario and then in another scenario, and then back to this one and that one, until you adjust to being able to see them both simultaneously. And so when we look at that aspect of cohesion that I explained on the solstice last December, if you didn't catch that, go back somewhere around just after December 21st. I went in and talked about it, so it could be even early January on the YouTube channel. But that aspect, that cohesion, that coming into completion point, our ability to really see reality as it is, rather than in the limitations, in the structure that's been around us, what we've bought into, what we've been allowed to see, or that our structure has limited us to see and experience. That's really what's going on, is we keep expanding, which means our range expands, which means our ability and perception expands to have multiple things going on. And as we move towards this solstice and the breakaway to an even greater degree from the time-space continuum, more of you than just Inger, and this is why I brought it on as a group question, are going to be experiencing that, where it's your perception ability. So pay attention to sounds, pay attention to what you're seeing, pay attention to really, as your telepathic body opens, what you're able to perceive from all of those channels weaving together, because you're getting multiple layers being brought in because they are also cohesing together. And so that's really what's going on, Inger. But explaining it this way is going to hopefully allow other people that may be getting it through auditory channels or other sensory channels, like being able to feel multiple things at once, almost as if you can feel it's hot outside, but there's cold layers, maybe differences in water as it hits your skin, like the multiple layerings within the energy of it, and when it's really just that it's always been there, but you've only had one channel perception open to perceive it in a certain way. So as we open our channels, you're going to have a lot more what could even be called texture to energy, texture to audio, texture to video, where it's more layered, and instead of being locked in on one channel because of what you've been used to or trained to, as those channels open up, you're just getting a bigger bandwidth. Your radio station now can play 5 stations at once instead of just the one. And I'd say that's the best way to try and understand it, that you have this bigger bandwidth. There's more channels playing, and at first you're going to need to look at or listen to one or the other, but then you'll start seeing them merge together. And that's really where you're opening up in your telepathic body, in your higher format of perception ability within the higher range of frequencies that we're moving into. So pretty exciting to see some of you guys experiencing that. It's a totally dynamic experience. Even I've been working with clients, and there's been a level of embodiment when I've talked about merging with my dragon in the past, and that higher soul level experience of being fully merged, and how that actually opens up your channel, opens up your bandwidth to then perceive all the other incarnational aspects that you have. And you start to maybe get overwhelmed of like, well, wait a minute, I'm getting information from this kind of experience and from this kind of life experience, and they're not even here on Earth, they're in other systems. That's that bandwidth opening up. So don't freak out about it. Just sit with it and allow, all right, I'm seeing, I can feel this one in this moment, I can feel this one in this moment, and where can I get to where I feel both? Because the more you open up your telepathic body, the more you're moving into the range of where we need to go to access your full merge. So it's a super exciting time. I'm really thrilled to see Dragon Family moving into that. And on that Dragon Family note, the other question that I saw this morning, so I'm going to tackle it today too, has to do with our Dragon Family. And Evelyn writes, a general topic related to dragons and other galactic origins. We need to connect in a cooperative manner, and the solstice is a very strong transformational point coming up. So my question is, how can those that resonate with dragons, dragon hearts, dragon keepers, dragon riders, all of our dragon family basically, how can we assist in raising awareness to others that carry a different galactic energy to step into their own soul calling, or to humanity in general as we step into 5D? So this is really the whole point and purpose. And I love that she had one response already on the post from Ginger. And it really is that. Ginger talks about living our truth. And as we shine, we actually allow others to shine. We create that spark within others. And that's why I think there's an old song about it only takes a spark to get a fire going. And truly, it takes a spark of starfire. I've talked about that recently, to get your own starfire going. When your starfire is lit up, when you are literally expanding into who you be, whether it's dragon, whether it's star being, angelic being, it doesn't matter what your origin is. As we open up to that and are more brilliant in who we be, that literally is opening others. So you don't even have to have conversations with people. Conversations help the mental body move along. They also have to be in timing with their journey. And the most potent seeds you can plant energetically for others' awareness to pop. And it's happening really quickly and really easily now that, like, there are so many light workers lit up on the planet right now. We are moving at accelerated pace. So what's the best thing we can do? You don't need to go in and talk about dragons. You don't need to go in and talk about spiritual stuff. You just need to be who you be living and exemplifying that light, and they get drawn to it. It's a magnetic force. You're an electromagnetic field, and the more merged you are with your full self, the higher vibrational rate of that magnetic field, the higher attraction rate of that magnetic field, and it attracts like to like, and it's like those beings that would walk in a room. Say you're at a function, some kind of a party or a wedding or event, and someone walks in the room, man or woman, and all eyes are drawn to them. They are like, they say they're magnetic, like people are just drawn to them. It's because they are living in full confidence and ability to be within themselves. That draws. And so the same thing, when you are full confident, you are living in who you be, you are merged with yourself, and just keep amplifying that light. You've moved from doing to being to actually shining. And that literally is the best thing we can do, because that will trigger energetic seeds within them to start sparking, whether they come and ask you questions on their spiritual journey, or they find the right answers that they need for their journey to wake up. They're going to find the right connections for their codes to be activated. My dragon family gets dragon codes. That's what I do. That's who I be. That's like why I've been here and living my light, because that plants a seed in the spark for those that need that. But you might be planting a seed energetically. I know I have activated many that aren't dragon just by having a conversation with them, and there's a seed planted by something that's said, or there's just an energetic exchange, and that pushes them towards their path of their opening. What their guides can put in front of them as reading material, as experience material with courses, or meditation, or whatever it is, that maybe it's yoga that opens them up. Whatever that is, it's you being you that is literally the fire that is changing this planet, and we are going very quickly now. So love Ginger's response, and I love the question, because there's a lot of people out there that are really opening into their heart center, and they want to help, and they want everybody to get there. And you also have to very lovingly accept and embrace the fact that not everyone on the planet is going through an ascension path. We will plant as many light seeds and bring as many along as want to come, but it is a free will universe. And so just not forcing anything, always allowing it to be what is. If you have an opportunity to share insight that comes into you because you're merged and open, and you have your telepathic field open, and you're getting information, you have an opportunity to share it in a way that's received, maybe even asking permission, can I share something with you that I'm getting right now? Or very softly, energetically giving some feedback on something that's going on. Those seeds are always planting. So love that you're thinking about that, Lamira, and putting that out there just in the group. It was a great group question to address as well, because we're all here to do it together. And I'll tell you, I had another experience, an opportunity to share this vision last weekend, and I can't remember who it was with right now, but I had a vision, I want to say about 1.5 years ago, and it was very potent, and I want to say it was around a solstice. It might have been even last summer solstice, maybe even 2 ago, but the wave of light was increasing on the planet, and was increasing exponentially, and I was I can't remember if I was in a session or a class, but I had a clear vision of this wave. It was literally like a big wave that would break on in the ocean, that would break on shore, and the wave, it was just cresting. And the crest was all the light workers, all the light beings, and the dragons were wingtip to wingtip, stretched across the entire thing, pushing the wave forward, and on their wings and under their wings and filling in all the space in between were all the other light beings that are here as part of this team that was breaking onto the shore of Earth. It was literally the crest was finally there. The wave had gotten enough momentum and energy that it was starting to curl over and start that point where I think surfers like that, when that's where you catch the wave to start surfing all the way into shore. And we were requesting that and doing it all together. So for some reason that just popped in as that same piece, that we are all in this together. It doesn't matter what origin point we're from. Obviously our dragon family gathers together because we have codes and activation for each other. I have information that helps move you guys along to answer your questions, just because I'm at a place where I maybe have remembered more. I've connected more and had that as my life's work and purpose. But as I open to mine and live it, it's triggering you guys into your purpose. And that insight and awareness comes as you merge into yourself, which is the whole reason for my programs. The Way of the Dragon Heart, the Quantum Flight, everything is about stepping into who you be, so that as you activate and are living that, you're triggering the rest of that wave growth. So love those questions. Thank you both Inger and Evelyn for those, and sending you guys a big dragon hug. I will watch for you next week and all the questions that come in this week and see what we're going to talk about then. All right. Bye for now, everybody. Have a fantastic week.